With this last question, if you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, Chris and America's team wins.
All right.
This show, pretty different from most game shows because this is a way for people at home to play as well, correct?
Trivial Pursuit, America Plays, and there is a clue in that title. Yes, we need America to be engaged in our show and be involved in our show by asking them to read and be seen asking the question on our show. So we need video of them asking that question. It's as easy as just visiting the website, tpamericanaplays.com, reading the directions there, and uploading a video of you asking a question. And if the question is selected, you will be one of a number of individuals asking a question on our show on a big screen television. So your image and voice will be right there on our show. And if America's team wins, then you win money. So not only don't you have to be in the studio to win money, but you get to scratch that little itch that wants 15 minutes of fame.
How many episodes have you taped so far?
We're, I think, near 40 at this point.
And what's been the atmosphere like? What's been the attitude and I guess the excitement around the show so far?
Everybody's been incredibly pleased. The energy is cooking at this point. So I mean, we've got a good energy and a good feel about the show. It's fast-paced. It's fun. The audience that's in person watching it, we have probably 130 people in our audience. All seem to be very engaged in the show. There's a great deal of oohs and ahs coming from our audience. So, that's very encouraging.
How much of the show is like the actual board game?
Well, I mean, Trivial Pursuit is a board game, but ultimately it's about the trivia and testing your knowledge, your trivia knowledge, and that's what we're about. We're about finding out whether or not our studio contestants know the answers to the questions that our American team members are asking. There is no board to move a token around, but we still play with wedges and tokens. So just like the board game, you have to fill your token with 6 wedges to find yourself in the final round. We separate those studio contestants just that way. There's 3 studio contestants that begin with an empty token, and as they fill up that token, the first 2 players to fill it up with 3 wedges, they both move on to the second round. We dismiss the third player, and then the person to first reach 6 wedges moves on to the final round, and it is that player that then will play against America for all the money.
Wow. That sounds
so. And there's no board to move a token around, yet there's money. So we trade the money for the dice rolling.
Sounds like a fair trade to me. I like it.
I think it lends itself exceptionally well in this case.
Now, this is your first time hosting a game show, correct?
It is.
Did you watch game shows from the past to kind of get a style, or were you pretty comfortable just going right in?
Well, I was comfortable going right in, but I'm not sure that was a great strategy because it turns out that being a game show host is a lot more difficult than it would appear.
Why's that?
There's a lot of levels. I mean, I think that when one meets me, I guess my strength is I'm engaging. But a game show is more than just that. You have to run it, and you have to know the game. So there's a lot of technical aspects that have to be mastered before you can be engaging. So it can be very mechanical. At the very beginning, it was for me, and I had to study hard to come up to speed to be actually a game show host. And I didn't have that problem in other hosting responsibilities I had. It pretty much was what it appeared to be. But I've got a newfound respect for all of the game show hosts that have come before me. Bob Barker, my hat's off, because that show particularly is a difficult one. And Drew Carey doing what he's doing after Bob Barker, it's not easy. It's not easy, and I have, in my life, I've been around such a long time now that I've had plenty of opportunity to incidentally watch game shows along the way. So, I have a catalog of game show hosts in my head, and I didn't really need to go out and watch them. I just replayed them in my head as I'm, now becoming a game show host myself.
I'm a huge TV geek, and I know that from my own childhood watching, a decade ago there was another version of a Trivial Pursuit game show hosted by Wink Martindale.
Wink Martindale, right.
Did you watch any episodes of that, or did the
I heard about this show, and because it just seems odd that Trivial Pursuit had never been made into a game show, and as it turns out, it had been. And I heard that Wink had provided the hosting duties. I haven't seen it. I'm not sure if any of that exists on YouTube. I should actually look. But at some point when one is doing the duties like this, you have a choice to make. If somebody has done something similar in the past, your choice is, do I watch it or don't I watch it? I have elected really not to invest the time because I'm not certain where it would steer me as I understand it. Our show is quite a bit different than that presentation of Trivial Pursuit.
My news director is probably going to fire me if I don't ask one Brady Bunch question. So I'm just going to ask, what do you think will be the lasting memory of the Brady Bunch in the history of television?
That it was the last of a genre, last of the innocents, if you will, last of a family presented in such a utopian sort of way. I think that's its legacy.
Is there a love-hate relationship with doing the reality show that you did for VH1?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that wasn't comfortable for me. I did that simply as an exercise of placing myself in outside of the comfort zone. And now that I've done it and experienced it, I'm happy to be doing this. I think in life we all should, try to do things that are not very comfortable for ourselves. It helps stretch us. It helps it lends for growth.
All right. I got to go here soon, Mr. Knight. I do have one more question about the show. Has there been a moment yet where either like someone's come back from nowhere and won the jackpot or vice versa, where someone's had it all and then just lost it with one question?
Already with 40 shows, we've had every incarnation of an ending. We've had a guest render, a win out of the blue. The woman just couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. So yeah, we have a twisty turning ending to our show.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Knight. Can you give us that website again, please?
Yes, it's www.tpamericaplays.com.